Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Rottama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agnanativinandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktabanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Canto 4 Chapter 6 Verse 40 Tatupaladhyagatam Atmayonim Surasureshairabhivanditangrihi Utthaya Chakre Shirasabhivandanam Arhatama Kasya Yathaiva Vishnuhu. Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons, but still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamana Deva offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyapa Muni. Kashyapa Muni was in the category of living beings, living entities, but he had a transcendental son, Vamandev, who was an incarnation of Vishnu. Thus, although Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Person of Godhead, he
Hare
offered
Krishna
his respect.
Prabhuji, the volume tumba kadime irutte.
Okay, others also not able to hear.
We can hear Prabhuji.
We can hear Prabhu.
Okay. Mataji, please check sound on your side. Yeah.
Okay.
So Kashyapa Muni was in the category of living entities. So this is one more important thing. We should understand that while Nanda and Yashoda and all they are eternal parents, so they are all spiritual entities. It looks like Kashyapa. So Krishna also, Lord also appears as son of jivas who are not actually spiritual entities, meaning they are not eternally. How can you say? We can't say that Yashoda and Nanda are ordinary living entities. But here is Kashyapa is in the category of the living entity. Meaning they are eternally, Nanda and Yashoda are eternally in Goloka. So they don't have any form of material existence. And they themselves appear here. But here Kashyapa and Diti, so they have material forms. They're born in the material world, but still Lord chooses exalted living entities as his parents based on their devotion for him. So though he was in the category of living entity, he had a transcendental son. Thus, although Vishnu is Supreme Person of Godhead, he offered his respects to Kashyapa Muni because Kashyapa Muni was his father. Similarly, when Lord Krishna was a child, he used to offer his respectful obeisances to his father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. Also, at the Battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna touched the feet of Maharaj Yudhishthir because the king was his elder. So Krishna does all this to show path of dharma. It appears then that the personality of God, Lord Shiva, and other devotees, in spite of their being situated in exalted positions, instructed by practical example how to offer obeisances to their superiors. Lord Shiva offered his respectful obeisance to Brahma because Brahma was his father, just as Kashyapa Muni was the father of Vamana. So that's the reason that he stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his feet, because he is so Rudra comes from Brahma. Yeah, so the all great devotees, they so we shouldn't imitate great devotees in the things they do. But at the same time, many things that the great devotees do are also to teach us. So we have to understand which ones we should not imitate, which ones we have to follow. So generally, it is said follow in their footsteps, meaning those that they are teaching us, and those things they are teaching us to do, we should do. Those things that they are not teaching us, that is, we should also understand that and not try to imitate. When they show their exalted positions, that is not for us to imitate. But when they are showing the path of dharma, that is for us to follow. And again, how can we differentiate which one we should imitate, which ones we should follow, which ones we should not? By mana mahajana yanagatasya panta. So great devotees will tell us what needs to be done. And that is the reason why we have to hear from great authorities. We cannot just do whatever we want, because then we might end up wrongly, uh, doing something wrong. Uh, तथा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर्ये वै समन्ताद् अनुनीलो लोहितं नमस्कृतप्राह शशाङ्कशेखरं कृतप्रणामं प्रहसन् इवात्मभूः. All the sages who were sitting with Lord Shiva, such as Narada and others, also offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma, smiling, began to speak to Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma was smiling because he knew that Lord Shiva is not only easily satisfied but easily irritated as well. He was afraid that Lord Shiva might be in an angry mood because he had lost his wife and had been insulted by Daksha. In order to conceal his fear, he smiled and addressed Lord Shiva as follows. Looks like Lord Brahma, here at least he could not understand what was the mood of Lord Shiva. So he smiled and addressed Lord Shiva as follows. Brahmovacha. जाने त्वामीशं विश्वस्य जगतो योनिबीजयोः शक्ते शिवस्य च परं यत्तद्ब्रह्म निरन्तरम्. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way. Um, Although Lord Brahma had received very respectful obeisances from Lord Shiva, he knew that Lord Shiva was in a more exalted position than himself. This we know because Shiva Tattva is superior to Jiva Tattva, and Brahma is Jiva Tattva. Lord Shiva's position is described in Brahma Samhita. There is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in their original positions. But still, Lord Shiva is different from Lord Vishnu. The example is given that the milk in yogurt is not different from the original milk from which it is made. Okay, so here the controller of the entire material manifestation. So all these statements generally when either any statements concerning Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma can be understood at two levels. One is of the level of the role that Brahma or Shiva are playing. For example, here combination father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, right? Shambhu and Parvati. So one is that is their role is described. The other, for example, Supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation. Now this refers to the their original positions, like Prabhupada is writing here, Vishnu and Lord Shiva in their original positions, there's no difference. So here, these statements refer to the original position of Lord Shiva as being non-different from Lord Vishnu, because Shiva is a Guna Avatara, right? So he's a Guna Avatara of Vishnu, of Krishna. So because he's a Guna Avatara of Krishna, then whatever attributes that are there in Krishna are also getting attributed to Shiva. So that is why he is said like Supreme Brahman. So if we say Supreme Brahman, this attribute this is being attributed to the Supreme Brahman, who is non-different from Shiva, from whom Shiva has come. So we should not uh, think that these are actually many times, for example, Hiranyakashipu glorifies Brahma as like this supreme person. But we should understand that the supreme, when such descriptions are happening, it is to the original person, Vishnu, and not to Shiva or Brahma, because we should know their position and we should not get confused with different kinds of statements. So Brahma is Jiva Tattva, Shiva is Shiva Tattva, but still not Vishnu Tattva, and both of them are incarnations of uh, Vishnu, right? So we should know that position and then understand other statements which are spoken. त्वमेव भगवन्नेतत् शिवचक्र्यो स्वरूपयोः विश्वं सृजसि पास्यसि क्रीडन् ऊर्णपटो यथा. My dear Lord, you create this cosmic manifestation, maintain it and annihilate it by expansion of your personality. Exactly as a spider creates, maintains and winds up its web. In this verse, the word Shiva Shakti is significant. Shiva means auspicious and Shakti means energy. There are many types of energies of Supreme Lord and all of them are auspicious. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara are called Gunavataras or incarnations of material qualities. In the material world, we compare these different incarnations from different angles of vision. But since all of them are expansions of Supreme Auspicious, all of them are Supreme Auspicious. Although sometimes we consider one quality of nature to be higher or lower than the other. The mode of ignorance or tamoguna is considered very much lower than the others, but in the higher sense, it is also auspicious. The example may be given here that the government has both an education department and criminal department. An outsider might consider the criminal department inauspicious, but from government's point of view, it is important as the education department. And therefore, the government finances both departments equally without discrimination. So Shiva is auspicious, even though he is, taking care of the mode of ignorance. Still, even that is auspicious, like explained here. So, Shiva Shakti. Again, like I said, create, maintain, annihilate means to the original person. त्वमेव धर्मार्थदुघाभिपत्तये दक्षेण सूत्रेण ससर्जिताध्वरम् त्वयैव लोके वसिताश्च सेतवो यान् ब्रह्मणाः श्रद्धदते धृतः व्रताः. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced the system of sacrifices through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the 4 Varnas and Ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. The Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the upkeep of social and religious orders in human society. So this we have discussed multiple times. The Brahmanas are the intelligent class in society. The Brahmanas must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali is to make a classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama. It is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Means that we cannot live without Varna and Ashrama. Whether we knowingly follow or unknowingly follow, it is always there. Destruction of the social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama for the satisfaction of the Creator. For it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the 4 orders of social system are his creation. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasha. Krishna has created this system, so we have to follow it for his satisfaction. They should act according to the regulative principles of this institution and satisfy the Lord, just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the whole. The whole is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Virat Rupa, or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen, and legs of the universal form. So Brahmanas are the mouth, Kshatriyas are the arms, Vaishyas are abdomen, and Shudras are legs. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective positions and become degraded. So this is the problem in Kali Yuga, that we are not following the four varnas, and so we are degraded. We have fallen from our respective positions, and so we become degraded, which means it's very difficult to make progress. We might reject the varnas, but rejecting the varnas basically means our fall down. No other problem. Why? Because then the society will act very whimsically. There's no structure, there's no order. Shastra says Shudras should not, if Shudras have money, then it results in misuse of that money, which is what we are seeing. So, Varnashrama actually, the intent of Varnashrama is to protect the society. But when Varnashrama is not followed, then the society just falls. I mean, the social position, spiritual aspects of the society are killed. So here that is why it is said that they fall down. And these are so both social and spiritual orders. Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, spiritual order. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, social order. Both are required. And one must show steady respect to this, not to be neglected. Because this is for the upkeep of the human society. Yeah, so the today's situation in Kali Yuga, in this material world, is basically because of these things being neglected. And Prabhupada also said, that through ISKCON, Prabhupada wanted to create a class of real Brahmanas. Real Brahmanas, not just for namesake. Real Brahmanas who actually have the qualities of Brahmanas to guide the whole society. But Brahmanas means knowledge. At least in Prabhupada's intention, Brahmanas were supposed to have knowledge and they're supposed to distribute knowledge. They're supposed to guide other people in the path of given by scriptures. And if you are not able to do this, then again that will result in further fall down of the society, which is already fallen, because there are no real Brahmanas, there are no real Kshatriyas, no real Vaishyas, and only everybody is Shudra. And that too actually fallen, more fallen than Shudra. You can say Chandalas. Because Shudras also follow Vedic principles. But in current state, nobody follows. And we think that is not important. We say bhakti is enough. But bhakti, for us to even follow bhakti, if our society is not conducive, how can we follow bhakti? And we see so much of struggle. Why are we going through so much of struggle living in a city and trying to do bhakti? Because the social structure is broken, right? It's all full of contamination. Then how can we even practice bhakti? So if there is no sanity in the society, then even practicing bhakti becomes, we see in like Bangladesh what is happening. Like things like this, we might say bhakti is enough, nothing else is required. But the mere fact that not everybody is going to come to bhakti, and that the devotees have to practice bhakti in a very unsafe kind of social environment or non-conducive social environment, it becomes a big challenge. And that is why Srila Prabhupada said 50% of my work is undone, is not done, right? Which is to establish Varnashrama, farm communities. Yesterday, there were a few devotees who were talking to me and saying that, like ISKCON has facility for brahmacharis, right? So they can join, they can, they can practice bhakti without having to worry about livelihood. What is the facility for grihasthas? In city, it's so difficult. What answer can we give? Because Prabhupada said that as grihastha should not take money from the temple. Prabhupada said that only grihasthas can live outside. Only thing is they can prasadam etc. can be taken care by temple, and some just basic requirements like whatever. There's a no material, no generating Lakshmi business, right? So if you have like just maintenance, bare maintenance can be taken care. But that's not like I'm doing this work, so pay me 10,000 this year, next year 15,000, not like that. It's like a case to case basis based on what is the situation of a particular devotee family, that something can be taken care. But ideally, grihasthas they should not depend on the temple. So the only option is really farm communities where devotees can go, stay, depend on Rishi, Goraksha, so their food is taken care, and so some society, community has to be there. Otherwise, living in a city life, we cannot, we will have to keep working and hope that we accumulate, or we are given enough money so that eventually at some point of time at least we can retire and fully dedicate ourselves to service, or we depend on our children or something like that, like the normal social, uh, you know, intercourse. But really, that's not ideal because so much of contamination, there's so much of difficulty practicing bhakti in city life. And that can be understood only by people who are going through trouble, right? I mean, so many devotees, some devotees don't have jobs, some devotees don't have money, don't have ways to earn money. So many issues, so many issues. And then we talk about, yeah, Traigunya Vishya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavad. Now, how can we transcend the modes? We are not even practicing bhakti properly. So it's a big challenge actually. We are not thinking about it so deeply, and so these things don't really seem to be important. Why bother about varnashram and all that? Just try to do bhakti. But we can only try to do bhakti. We cannot actually do bhakti because it's so difficult. Fortunate are some devotees whose material situation is stable. Now, then yesterday I was thinking about this. Are they really fortunate? How are they going to get closer to Krishna? Right? If life is all hunky dory, how are we going to become closer to Krishna? Because our general tendency is everything is okay, then remain materially engrossed, do your stuff, etc. How much ever little bit bhakti you can do, you do, and that's all. Right? So in one sense, having difficulty is a blessing, but in other sense, having too much difficulty is also a problem. So it's like major, it's not easy. It's not at all easy. Right? So the varnashrama is very, very important because it gives a framework, or it gives a environment in which bhakti can actually be performed nicely. Now, I've been to these farm communities. Of course, there's physical austerity for those who are not used to it. But spiritually, it's bliss. No unwanted, nothing pressure. Mind is clean, all in the association of devotees, living on land and cow. You know exactly what Krishna wants. And the environment itself gives one happiness. But yeah, because we are used to so much of unwanted comfort of Kali Yuga, everything seems like difficult. So then, yeah, solution is be in city and then struggle. So this Varna and Ashrama is, of course, Prabhupada wanted this. Don't know why, unfortunately, this is not being given required importance. Only few leaders are looking at this. Mm. Kam karmanam mangalanam kartusvalokamtanushe swaparam va mangalanam chatamisramulbanam viparyayah kena tadeva kasyachit. Most auspicious Lord, you have ordained the heavenly planets, the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, and the impersonal Brahman sphere as the respective destination of the performers of auspicious activities. Similarly, for others who are miscreants, you have destined different kinds of hells which are horrible and ghastly. Yet sometimes it is found that their destinations are just the opposite. It is very difficult to ascertain the cause of this, like Ajamila, very difficult to ascertain because it's so deep. Lord's rules and this very difficult. Supreme Personality of Godhead is called the Supreme Will. It is by the Supreme Will that everything is happening. It is said, therefore, that not a blade of grass moves without the Supreme Will. Generally, it is prescribed that performers of pious activities are promoted to the higher planetary system. Devotees are promoted to Vaikunthas or spiritual worlds, and impersonal speculators are promoted to the impersonal Brahman effulgence. But it sometimes so happens that a miscreant like Ajamila is immediately promoted to the Vaikunthas simply by chanting the name of Narayana. Although when Ajamila uttered this vibration, he intended to call his son Narayana. Lord Narayana took it seriously and immediately gave him promotion to Vaikuntha Loka, despite his background, which was full of sinful activities. Similarly, King Daksha was always engaged in the pious activities of performing sacrifices. Yet, simply because of creating a little misunderstanding with Lord Shiva, he was severely taken to task. The conclusion, therefore, is that the supreme will, Krishna, sorry, the supreme will is the ultimate judgment. No one can argue upon this. Supreme will is the ultimate judgment. Actually, this itself is so difficult for us to understand. A pure devotee therefore submits in all circumstances to the supreme will of the Lord, accepting it as all auspicious. The supreme will is the ultimate judgment. Whatever is happening in our life, whatever will happen in our life, it is all the supreme will. We cannot argue. We cannot say why this happened, why this, I didn't get this opportunity, why this, this is not fair, that this, all, childish conversation. It is just the supreme will. And a pure devotee submits to the supreme will and accepts it as all auspicious. But the one who is not a pure devotee, one who doesn't have pure faith in Krishna, will question Krishna's actions. This happens to so many devotees, even after many, many years in Krishna consciousness. And that is just a lack of pure faith. One has to have pure faith in Shastra and in the words of Krishna. That's all. And the power of the Nama, again, power of chanting. Now, today I was thinking, saying, why chanting is so bad? Why chanting is so bad? Why chanting is so bad? And I realized that actually that's because I still think I'm the body. Because I think I'm the body, my chanting is bad. But it's so difficult to think I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul. Because we are steeped in, again, this societal situation where each and every moment we are being illusion to think that we are the body. The whole process of Krishna consciousness is actually for us to come back to this position of us ourselves being Atma and not Deha. Anyway, that's a different conversation, right? But our chanting has to be like that of Ajamila. At least should be free of aparadha. Then we can make progress. And so-called pious activities, we should not engage in so-called pious activities because first of all, we are not here for going, if we want to achieve heavenly planets, then we can engage in normal pious activities. Otherwise, we just engage in activities of bhakti. Still, whatever it is, whatever happens is the supreme will, and we can't argue. And we have to accept it as all auspicious. Then canto, this is spoken by Lord Brahma, Tattenukampam Susamikshamaano Bunjana Evatmakritam Vipakam Ritvagvapurvir Vidadhan Namaste Jivetayo Muktipade Sadaya Bhak. The purport of this verse is that when a devotee is in a calamitous condition, not in trouble, Prabhupada is saying calamity, he takes it as a benediction of the Supreme Lord and takes responsibility himself for his past misdeeds. In such a condition, he offers still more devotional service and is not disturbed. Please note this. Please note this point. He offers still more devotional service and is not disturbed. Calamity, not some chotumutu, some small problem. In a calamity, devotee doesn't get disturbed. He offers still more devotional service. One who lives in such a disposition of mind engage in devotional service is the most eligible candidate for promotion to the spiritual world. In other words, such a devotee's claim for promotion, meaning I have to go to the spiritual world, is assured in all circumstances. But most of us end up actually in the opposite state of mind, right? Our devotional service decreases, we get disturbed. But Brahma is saying this. So even if, however bad our situation is, we should consider it as all auspicious. We should just uh, wait patiently for the mercy of the Lord and undergo our suffering, tolerant, be patient, and remember that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Increase devotional service and not be disturbed. One who lives in such a disposition of mind is most eligible candidate. Go back to Krishna. Okay, I think I'll stop here. Any questions, comments? No comments.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Probably the last verse, like words with respect to calamity.
Yeah.
So it is like whatever the troubles or whatever we are, it could be big or large. So everything we have to consider it as an auspicious. Means which
Yeah.
like what are the hurdles even in bhakti we are facing. So it means like that. Correct?
We don't normally face hurdles in bhakti. We face hurdles in material life, which we let those hurdles affect our spiritual life. Right? Spiritual life is very simple. Simply, we have to just follow, four regulative principles, stand minimum 16 rounds, read scriptures, and be in the association of devotees. What hindrance come in these activities? The hindrance is coming from our body and mind, right? The hindrance that is
Okay.
coming from our body and mind are because of our material karma. So that those problems that come can be small, medium, big, very big, whatever it is. First thing
Okay.
is, whenever we have problems, we don't run to anybody else apart from Krishna, number one. In the starting stage of devotional service, we can go surrender to Krishna, pray to him, ask him to help us out, save us from our situation, etc., etc. Whatever we want to do, we can do it with Krishna.
Okay.
Then as we make some progress, then we should start understanding these things. First is, actually, see, I am not the body, I am spirit soul. So whatever trouble that is happening is actually not happening to me at all. I am feeling all this pain because I am thinking the body is me, right? This is Brahma Bhuta stage, second
Yeah.
stage. And even further advancement, devotees just think that it is all auspicious because everything is actually helping me to become closer to Krishna. Right? And in fact, devotees do more devotional service. Few devotees do more devotional service when they are in trouble because they know there is no other solution. So just imagine if you have headache. Oh, I have headache, I can't chant. No, what will a pure devotee do? I have headache, I'm going to chant 32 rounds. Like this. Do
Okay.
extra, do more.
Okay.
Because it's
Okay.
just to tell us saying that, you see, I am not the
More.
body, I am actually spirit soul. I am doing bhakti to Krishna, and that bhakti should be ahaitukiya pratihata. Cannot be any impediment. Material things should not stop me. So pure devotees do more. And those who do more like this, they are they have a right to go back to Krishna. Like right. Uh, Nobody can claim right to
Okay.
go to Goloka. But Brahma is saying that one who suffers like this patiently without complaining, no complaint. Like I was saying the other day, no complaint. We should not complain. Oh, my material situation is like this. Let me wait for all of this. Like I keep thinking so many times, so many difficult situations. Okay, hopefully in few years I'll get over it. Okay, not
Yeah.
today, tomorrow. That I realized. Initially, when I came to Krishna consciousness, I thought, oh, okay, every problem will come. Tomorrow it'll go. Day after I will become pure devotee. Then I saw that it's not going. It's still there,
Yeah.
right? Then I started thinking, oh, okay. Maybe few days, few months. Now it's been few years. So now I think, okay, maybe in few more years. Maybe another 10, 15, 20 years, maybe. And then eventually I guess Krishna wants me to come to the state where I'll say, no, it won't go. It'll be there, right? And accept that, right? So these are all different stages of, see, eventually if we have to come to the platform thinking I'm not the body. Now, if we are always expecting some better situation all the time, that means that we are still on the platform of the body because we want a better situation. Better situation for whom?
Yeah.
For the body. Because Atma is anyway always in a different situation, right? So the
Yeah.
best,
Yeah. So because
sorry, Prabhu, 1 second, let me complete. The best approach is to just think of everything as Krishna's mercy, depend on him, be in the association of devotees who are just pure and committed to Krishna consciousness, who are trying to practice pure devotional service and try to make progress. This is the best prescription. Might not be possible for everybody, but those who can do this, they can hope to achieve perfection in this life. Mm. And if you don't read Prabhupada's books, see, one simple statement that whatever is happening in my life is actually all auspicious. If I don't understand this, if I can't understand, or if I don't even know this, if first of all, if I don't know this knowledge, second, if I can't accept this knowledge, then I will be struggling. But if I simply first of all know this knowledge, for which I have to read Prabhupada's books, and Prabhupada is saying it is all auspicious, oh, my suffering is also auspicious to me. Okay, great. How am I not be able to understand? That Krishna knows, that Prabhupada knows. But the fact that it is all auspicious should give me so much of relief. And then I should say, okay, it's okay. All auspicious. If I'm suffering also, it's auspicious. Not suffering also is auspicious. So I just go on doing bhakti. That is pure devotion. But this language generally people can't understand. People can't digest. People want happy, comfortable life the way they expect. I should have enough money. Enough money may not be too much money. I should have enough money. I should not have money problem. I should not have health problem. I should not have relationship problems. Yeah, this is every human being expects this, right? But that's what we understand when we come to bhakti, saying that, oh boss, our karma phala, we don't know when what is going to come. So we have to depend on Krishna and wait for his mercy. That's what Brahma is saying. Krishna is going to give mercy, of course. Krishna's mercy is slightly different. Krishna's mercy is not to fulfill our material desires all the time. Sometimes he might fulfill, but mostly is whatever he does is for us to actually come to him. So, which means that we have to become materially detached. Krishna does things to enable us to become materially detached. But at the same time, he doesn't he prevents us from falling flat on our face. He holds us, he protects us, takes care of us. But eventually he will pull us out. He knows what will work for us. So we have to understand that it is all auspicious. That is why this whole Putana episode, Acharya say, he gave position of a nurse to Putana who came to kill him. What about all of us? We are we definitely not Putana. We might be small demons, but not such a big demon. And definitely we are also trying to do some service sincerely to Krishna. So why will Krishna not give up our hand? He will not. He will protect us. But he knows the way that we don't know. We are not more intelligent than him. So we understand that, okay, it is all auspicious. And all I need to do is just continue to remain fixed in my bhakti. And then Krishna will take care of whatever needs to be done. Is that okay? Shashank Prabhu?
yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, understood.
Yeah, it
Thank
might be
you.
slightly difficult, it might take a little more time to digest this, but this is what it is. Right? You have to understand. Krishna is there. Our problems are also real. Krishna is also real. Krishna's protection is real. Krishna's mercy is real. Everything is real. So we just depend on him and continue our devotional life.
Okay. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Anybody? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Vaishnava ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Pranam.